Opie and Anthony.
Hi. Yeah.
Ann was giving us the latest info on the Boston Marathon bombing suspect that is alive.
Yeah. Apparently, when they took him in the boat, and there was an exchange of gunfire, as they said, and they were speculating as to whether he had given himself a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the throat, and he couldn't talk. Well, as more info comes out, he never had a gun on him in that boat. No gun found.
So what about the self-inflicted gunshot?
I guess that was done by one of the cops.
Even better.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. I mean, but it's odd how these stories change. Also, that exchange of gunfire, he didn't have a gun. So when did that start? What were they shooting at, and why?
Did they assume he had a gun?
Maybe he did some kind of a movement or
I bet they assumed he had a gun, yeah.
Right.
But so it wasn't an exchange of gunfire.
My question is, what are you supposed to do in that situation?
I don't know, yeah.
It's a tricky situation.
It's a very difficult situation.
Why was he bleeding all over the boat, I guess, from the night before?
Yeah, he had been fucked up, I guess, earlier.
Good.
Yeah.
What was his wounds from the night before? Has that come out yet?
No, that one wound to the throat. At some point he got that. He got a couple more gunshot wounds. We're not really hearing in detail what was wrong with him. But another fact that's coming out, they said, they were talking about the arsenal of weapons and the fact that he had long guns and assault rifles and everything. They never had more than that one pistol that they were using.
And where did they get the pistol from?
They're still figuring that out. Of course, the serial numbers were all ground off of it.
Okay. There's other serial numbers that you can't ground off these days, no?
Yeah, well, you could usually with some kind of acid test, or not acid test, procedure, you could bring back up because the actual stamp of the serial number goes right into the metal.
Gotcha.
So, but the fact of the matter is, it was probably just an illegal gun with the serial number scraped off when they bought it from somebody. They didn't have a license to buy pistols. So, but they never had this big arsenal that had been reported.
On the watch list, too, that the fucking...
First one.
Yes, that's another one.
Brother that's dead.
The brother was on a terrorist watch list. Apparently, since he had been questioned by the FBI, they kind of thought everything was fine. So there were never any follow-ups done. I mean, the dirt that's coming through on this guy and what was known about it is amazing. And it's one guy. It's not this big plot, this big conspiracy. There might be other people involved, but as far as he goes, there's a problem. This guy's a fucking problem. There wasn't any keeping tabs on him
But how many...
deporting him?
How many guys out there are a problem that they just can't keep tabs on everybody?
True. Who knows? No one's very transparent with any of this shit.
And it's true they spelled his name wrong, and that's how he got
there could be
the cracks a little
spelling
bit?
error, which is... great, because that's all you got to do, I guess, is just misspell a couple of things. And,
right.
But this gun issue is very odd. They really made a point of saying there was an arsenal, and they had these running gun battles with long rifles. Heard on the scanner myself. They got long guns. You had a fucking pistol.
They had explosives, though.
Yeah, they did have the...
they were throwing that shit out of the car.
The explosive, the crock pot. The crock pot. There's actually a company that stopped selling crock pots.
Why?
Just stopped selling crock pots.
What fucking assholes.
Called Panicky Pete's crock pots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could the crock pot do the same thing that the pressure cooker does?
Or a pressure cooker, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Whoops. I always get those confused.
Yeah.
A crock pot.
Yeah.
Who cooks in those? It's terrible.
I
made a casserole.
I like a good stew, a good crock pot stew.
Ooh, that is good. Slow cooked.
The Norton household is legendary for crock pot stews.
Really?
That fucking crock pot was never empty in my house.
Does sound good.
You ever have oxtail stew?
I don't think so, no.
That's a good one.
Rocktail stew.
But a crock...
It's an ox.
I got it.
A crock pot bomb would take, what, 3 days?
It just happened.
3 days.
It takes 3 days to detonate.
They placed the bomb and, oh boy, everyone went home 2 days ago.
And then the stupid glass lid would just blow off of it anyway. So, yeah, the pressure cooker the lid locks on like a hatch.
Fucking CNN just keeps showing that same footage of them trying out the pressure cooker bomb over and over again. Just showing everybody how impressive it really is. That's smart.
Yeah, look at this.
This is what it does.
Yeah, it's very
I don't know
dangerous.
what we're learning from that. What are we learning from that? Having
dangerous.
CNN, show that video over and over again of them, doing the pressure cooker bomb in the desert.
They also reported that the younger one was in New York City in October, I guess, partying, and they were going to come down to New York City to just have fun, celebrate. Yeah.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah. No plans. They haven't had any inkling that they were going to do anything destructive.
Right.
But who knows with them guys? They might have found a pressure cooker shop and said, let's do it again.
Oof.
And then they're thinking the gunpowder that they got might have been from fireworks.
I saw
that they bought
in New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire. Yeah, you could just, roadside fireworks. You buy up these fucking mortars, those big round things that you shove in the tube, and you empty them out. You got yourself some gunpowder.
Yeah, some are saying that the neck or the throat injury was from shrapnel.
From the
night before, possibly.
From that, maybe from the flashbang.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What is? Oh, right. What is that flashbang that they dropped in there? What does that do?
Oh, it just fucks up your senses.
They usually throw it in before they enter a room that they're not sure about, or they know that some people are in there. They throw in a flashbang. It's a concussion and a bright flash, but without the shrapnel that comes off of like a grenade. So it disorients whoever's in there, blinds them, makes them deaf for a little bit. Yeah, and then you could just come in and fucking put the butt of your rifle over the bridge of their nose.
It's a motherfucker on the ears.
Oh, you would just be like, you can't see.
Right.
All you're hearing is, and now there's people around you.
Yeah, you stop playing your fucking guitar.
Also, the suspect is in the same hospital as the victims.
Oh yeah,
and family members are just kind of. We've all been in hospitals.
Just the old pillow over the face.
You got to kill some time, so you start wandering around. I'm sure some family members are doing some wandering.
I bet it's not like the movies. I bet there's a couple of guys at his door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and it's your job to protect that guy.
Yeah.
That's got to be a motherfucker on your head.
Michael and the fucking baker.
Yeah.
Come over. Was it the baker? Enzo.
Enzo, the baker.
Come and push his fucking bed into another room.
Well, they said that some of the nurses and stuff and the ER doctors were like not wanting to save this kid. They knew they had to, but I think after they were like, "What are we doing?" Like,
they can't wait to get rid of him. They're like, "Get him out of this hospital. We don't want anything to do with him."
Yeah.
I would love to talk to a federal agent. That's got to be not the greatest fucking job. That you're the guy that has to make sure nothing happens to him.
This piece of shit. Yeah.
This piece of shit. And if something happens to him, it's going to be your job.
Yeah, you'd want to go in and maybe fucking turn a few dials, press a few switches, cut off a few tubes.
Mm-hmm. So that's the latest on what's going on up there?
Yeah, again, a lot of misinformation that slowly, as time goes on, they say, well, this was what really happened. And then a few more days you hear, and this happened. So it's not this big burst of information that would upset anyone or make anyone think that there's an issue. It's just let out slowly. I don't like that at all. That's what's happening with this Benghazi thing, too. There's another Benghazi investigation that they want to do. And it seems Hillary made her statement during the first investigation that she knew nothing about this ambassador and his team asking for more security. They in a written request, asked for more security at the embassy in Benghazi. Meanwhile, their security was actually cut after getting that message. Hillary said she knew nothing of this. Her people take care of this, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Well, lo and behold, there's a memo giving the order to pull back the security at this embassy, signed by Hillary Clinton.
What's her response to that been?
She hasn't responded to it
But now
yet.
it doesn't matter because she's out. She's no longer Secretary of State.
So their whole answer will be, well, this was when she was in place. There's different people now and blah, blah, blah. No accountability. Again.
Yep.
So they want to have another investigation, and this is a kind of a big issue for that investigation as to why she lied in the first investigation, saying she knew nothing of this when her signature is on the actual paper that came across her desk. So we'll see where that goes. But I tell you, and I know the Republicans and Democrats, I'm not going to get into an argument back and forth like that because they all have had their bullshit moments. But I've never seen an administration like this that is so full of shit and so full of diversions and fucking where there's still people just blindly following Obama. I mean, the lack of transparency here, the sweeping under the carpet of actual terrorist events, the downplaying of the Muslim danger, the kissing the ass of the Saudis. There's some fucking scandal, and it's in between reality and conspiracy right now, that the first guy that they got that was a Saudi national that we heard about, that was then we were told that he had nothing to do with this, is a bigwig in Saudi, and there's some kind of arrangement being made between the Obama administration and the Saudis to get him out of the fucking country ASAP. Like something's going on here. But whenever a question's asked, that Carney, the fucking White House speaker Carney, which is a great name for him because he just fucking leads the rubes, always has an answer without giving any answer. I don't know. This administration, but it's not just that he's black. It just makes me very fucking nervous.
But obviously the Saudi national had nothing to do with the Boston Marathon bombing.
Who knows?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
No one really knows what this guy's
did they grab the wrong
is.
guy and realize, oh, fuck, he's a bigwig, and now we pissed off the Saudis? Is that why this is going down?
That is one of the things that are being speculated, that he did have something to do with it, at least.
Something to do with the Boston Marathon bombing?
Right. People are saying that. It's at least maybe.
Conspiracy guys or other guys?
Well, it's a little more valid than conspiracy guys, but still in that realm.
Right. That would come out in the end, wouldn't it?
That's just it. This administration is brilliant at things not coming out or slowly coming out in different light later. And then you just get the blind people that follow and believe. And it's crazy. But they're saying maybe this guy in some logistical way had something to do with this. Maybe in getting information back and forth from Saudi Arabia. Who knows? But the thing is, we're not hearing anything about it. And I think they have a record of this guy actually visiting the White House at some point.
Really?
Yeah. It's Saudi national.
Let's talk to Doug in Philly. He wants to take you on a little bit.
All right.
Doug, what's going on?
Yo, fucking Anthony.
Yes.
Listen, you go off on these rants of how, Obama has no accountability, transparency. You throw cliches and you shout, and everyone else sitting in there just sits on their hands. And Opie does his Sudoku puzzle. Jimmy's writing another book.
Well, go ahead.
I just don't have the passion for this like Ant does. What am I going to do, man?
What are you getting at?
I think they all suck across the board. I know that's a very easy thing to say, but I can't be bothered with it.
But what's your point?
What is your point? You could go
ahead. You could challenge Anthony. Go ahead.
So my point is, you call out the Obama regime, but your buddy boy Bush, the whole reason we went into the Iraq War was throwing Powell under the bus with the WMD presentation.
Right. Exactly.
One of the biggest blunders of American history.
So that makes Obama any more right? If you listened to us during the Bush administration, we talked about how that was bullshit. Everyone that supported that talked about how they were bamboozled, and we supported it at the beginning because of the information, the bad information, the lies that were put out, and then we acknowledged it later. I wasn't sitting there saying, fuck you, there were WMDs, they took them to Syria. I wasn't saying that. I fessed up and said, yes, it was false information that got us into Iraq. Yes, I agreed. Does that make what Obama's doing now any better?
Fuck no, but 2 minutes ago, you just sat there and said, I've never seen a regime as bad as this.
No, even Bush wasn't as bad as this, sir. Even Bush was not as bad as covering up shit that's going on and not letting us see what's going on as much as Obama. And Obama has not taken blame one for anything. Bush would get shit on at every turn for everything he did. Mission accomplished, all that shit. The press jumped on him. Obama is the fucking golden boy. Not a fucking complaint from the press. He never gets held accountable for anything. The country's been unemployed for years. Nothing. He's great. The economy's in the shitter. Oh, it's Wall Street. It's this. It's the Republicans. It's that. The sequester. The Republicans are holding us hostage. This guy is not responsible for the shit state that the country's in. He's been president for one term, going into his second term, with no light at the end of the tunnel, and yet I'm supposed to fucking think he's great? Blow me.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Netflix and dinosaurs.
I made such a haul on Netflix.
Yes,
I didn't
you
do as
did.
good with Apple, but you know what?
Yeah.
It was a coin toss, and I could have lost big.
Yeah.
But I wound up just about breaking even on my Apple options, but I got out in time, which I'm totally happy with.
So you still got your Netflix profits.
Yeah, and I'm looking for the next kind of stock that's in play, you know? I want something in play.
And you start to look at more dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at a Triceratops and an Allosaurus.
Oh, nice. Doug, anyway, to you.
Anthony's exhausting. He really is. You need to start drinking again or something, because I think...
No.
He's been nicer this last 10 days than he has been in 5 years. What are you talking about, you idiots?
You know what you're doing to us?
Am I nice?
Yes, he's been more pleasant.
He's been a pleasure. Don't do this to us,
You act
Doug.
like he quit drinking in 1985.
Right, it's only been 10 days.
It's been 2 weeks.
He's been a delight, dare I say.
It's been 14 days.
Yeah, Anthony's been as peaceful as I've ever seen him.
Oh, you know what the problem is, though? I stopped drinking so I could work out and lose weight and stuff. But because I stopped, I've been eating ice cream sandwiches and Twizzlers.
That's all right. You're treating yourself. You're getting some sweets in.
Oh, because it's like...
That won't kill you.
You're just trying to get your pool body together.
Yes, I got to get my pool body, my swimmer's figure.
And then when you get the pool body back together, then you're going to go back to drinking.
No, I don't know. I'm really kind of looking at this. I'm giving it the litmus test.
This is strange.
I'm giving it the test like does the good outweigh the bads?
Right.
And so far, I can't really find a great advantage for drinking at a lot. You know, I can't really find that good advantage. The advantage to not, I wake up. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing to wake up in the morning and not have a headache and not go like, oh God, I feel like shit. And you know, it just is kind of. And then it's like there's nothing really to it. You're just sitting there, whether it's a ginger ale or it's club soda and fucking lime or something, and I'm just sipping that in a glass with I won't just take a can of soda or something or it's, something like that. I'll take a glass, I'll put ice in it, I'll mix club soda with some cranberry juice or something, and then I'll clink the drink and drink that, and it's really no different because once you get past the initial buzz. I never got like more and more drunk. I'm not one of those kind of drinkers. I'd reach a point and just kind of maintain it. So it's kind of like it never really.
Oh, shit.
No, I swear. I'm actually a pretty coherent drunk. But like Jimmy said, I do repeat myself and yell a lot.
But that's not a violent or angry drunk.
No, I'm a happy drunk.
You're kind of fun.
But there's no advantage to it. There's none.
No, it's not really. I'm trying to, I believe me, I do some assessment every day. I look at what I would be doing and what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and things like that. And I'm not seeing such a huge advantage in the drinking part.
Do you have the itch?
Yeah, they're like at night.
So how do you get past the itch?
The same way I do with smoking, the same way I do with anything in life.
Yeah, but you downplay it. That itch is pretty powerful.
No, it is, but here's what you do.
What do?
You just don't do it.
Because you could probably help people out there.
No, because you need amazing willpower. You need amazing willpower. Here's what you do.
So
you don't fucking do it.
But you're saying the itch is pretty powerful, but you're able to push it down.
Yeah, because, I like sitting there and drinking a glass of wine at night. It's great. But then, you look around and go, oh, you know what? It would be nice to have. Nope.
Well,
no one's twisting your arm. No, there's not a voice in your head. You don't regain consciousness with a glass in your hand or a cigarette in your mouth. You know you're doing it when you start to do it. And if you really are committed to not doing something, just don't fucking do it. Just don't do it.
But then the itch comes back 15 minutes later.
And again, you don't do it again.
Man,
you got
great willpower.
You just got to not fucking do it.
You mean I won't have to not go to your house anymore and then knock on the patio door and see you asleep with a wine in your hand and a gun right by your fucking hand and worry if I'm going to be fucking shot?
Just for saying hi?
Yeah, knocking and ducking.
I have been known to fall asleep on the couch with a glass of wine in my hand, in my lap.
Have you stained the couch ever?
Yeah, there have been one or two instances where the glass took a little topple when I might have, leaned over. And I wake up like, oh, fuck.
Well, you've been a delight the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh.
Just a pure delight.
Well, that's good to hear.
But it is nice to not wake up feeling... It's weird. It's almost like...
That's the biggest part.
You get so used to being in a room where there's these thick cobwebs and you're just used to wading through them and all of a sudden they're gone. It's like, wow, it feels
that's
better.
the best part.
At Amy Schumer's thing, I had a jalapeno margarita. That sounds good. And I didn't enjoy it, and it was just one strong drink, and then I did have like a half a beer after that. I feel like just blah today, today.
Yeah,
I'm a lightweight, and I didn't enjoy it.
It's just
it sounded good at the time, but
it just
I don't know.
Believe me, I sure enjoy a good drink, but you got. What am I gonna do?
Hannity said the bombers were on welfare. That is true. At least the one that's dead, he was on welfare.
Yeah.
He was on welfare, and his wife was working like 60, 80 hours a week.
Really?
While he did his thing.
Working the system?
He was just a hunk of fucking shit.
Working the system.
He's a hunk of shit.
Yeah. A hunk of shit. There's a lot, just a lot of shit.
Oh, by the way, there's
on.
people that obviously agree with you. This guy says...
Yeah.
That just makes for...
Yeah, you're
not boring radio. I shouldn't say that, but Anthony stands strong. You're the only person who speaks the truth. That's Jim Jersey.
I certainly am.
Okay. Anyway.
And then the next thing you see is Anthony's an asshole blowhard. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Anthony, keep talking the truth. Yeah, Anthony knows nothing. He's a dick. Stick to telling dick jokes. All right. Yeah.
They're wonderful, aren't they?
You gotta love them all, don't you?